What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer, and I do believe that we now know the exact identity and appearance of Overwatch's 28th hero. The next hero on the roster will be Hammond, also known as Wrecking Ball, the current reigning mech fighter champion in Junkertown. The proof is just about undeniable at this point, and that could mean his official reveal is imminent. Without further ado, let's jump in and look at the details. Now, I honestly have to credit many of you guys for leaving great and insightful comments on my previous videos. They played a huge part in me coming to this realization about Hero 28, so now let's compile all the clues and see what we've got. First up, the teaser from last Thursday. Previously, most people seemed to speculate that this was either a wall chock full of misdirections, or possibly even that it was teasing a number of different things to come. But no, I now see that each and every poster was in fact a piece of the same puzzle. We need to put them together, not pull them apart. So jumping to Monday's teaser, we got a massive metal boulder rolling past the screen. As many people have pointed out, it shares a striking resemblance to the escape pod we see in Hammond's escape plan on Horizon. They both are medium-sized and have what appears to be a similarly shaped door on the side. But these aren't the only two instances of this sphere. Looking back at the initial teaser, it appears we've somehow missed the fact that this exact same sphere shows up in the Power for New Horizons poster. And although it's a bit harder to make out, the Wrecking Ball poster on the far left, which we can see a bit more clearly in the Junkertown map itself. Additionally, Lucio's poster dates the setting as being at least close to modern day Overwatch, and the soccer ball could easily just have been an early indicator of Hero 28's abilities, which is that, much like a kicked ball, it rolls around on the battlefield. This now effectively ties together almost every element of this image. The space monkey is Hammond, the power poster shows the sphere's origins, Scrapyard is the location where Hammond resides as a mech fighter, Wrecking Ball is Hammond's fighter alias, and Lucio and soccer hint at the time period as well as what will likely be his gameplay mechanics. However, there is one more element of this image which I haven't covered, and that's the pro and anti-Omnic propaganda. But just bear with me on this one, as I'll come back to it in a minute. So simply put, Hammond is Wrecking Ball. Judging from the size here, I can't really imagine a human pilot to fit inside. But what about something besides a human? Specifically a creature who so far has been pretty much solely defined by the fact that they're small. While we're still under merely the assumption that Hammond is some kind of primate, a smaller monkey would absolutely fit in this thing, with enough extra space to fit all the computers and motors necessary to make it go. Now, there were a few rebuttals I've seen for this idea, mainly regarding the Junker Queen. For example, isn't she the mech fighter champion? And why did Blizzard remove her voice lines from the Junkertown map if she isn't being added as a hero? To answer the first one, it's actually specified that she was a former mech fighter champion.
The Queen is a very charismatic former gladiatorial mech champion. She basically rose to power as a result of her prowess as a mech combatant in the scrapyard, and now she leads that group of survivors.
This means her fighting days could be over, and Wrecking Ball is now the current Scrapyard champion. And as for the voice lines being removed, this was most likely done simply to draw attention to Junkertown and the Junkers. Perhaps it could indicate that Blizzard still does plan to add her as a hero someday, but if not, then I will miss hearing her threatening remarks while playing that map. The only other option I could see regarding Hero 28's identity at this point is that Wrecking Ball itself is an Omnic. After all, it certainly has an Omnic-looking face, and we've already seen Omnics which can transform with Bastion, so one that can change from ball to humanoid seems possible. But alas, the one major caveat I see here is that Junkertown and the Junkers themselves are horribly anti-Omnic. They would never let one fight in their town, let alone become reigning champion. Therefore, it seems inevitable that Wrecking Ball has some kind of non-Omnic pilot, and everything seems to point at that pilot being Hammond. Additionally, we know that he's tech savvy enough to have constructed the escape pod in the first place, so him then being able to repurpose it into a mech seems quite likely. Now, with all these pieces put together, I think we can form a fairly complete picture of Hammond and his hero origins. In order to escape Horizon, Hammond made a makeshift escape pod out of whatever this power sphere thing is, and attached it to the back of Winston's capsule. However, once they neared Earth, it seems like they didn't stay tethered for long. While it seems that Winston may have landed in Gibraltar, Hammond likely crashed down in the Australian outback. By some means or another, he comes across Junkertown and ends up converting his already makeshift escape pod into a full-on battle mech, and becomes known as Wrecking Ball. Additionally, if the two Earthbound apes did in fact become separated before touching down, this could explain why Winston has never made any mention of Hammond. He either assumed he died in the crash, or never even knew he was tagging along to begin with. Also, this would likely mean that Hammond is a neutral character when it comes to the whole Overwatch versus Talon debate. He's probably been fighting simply to survive, and may even officially be classified as a Junker by this point. Now, this all seems very clean-cut and likely to me at this point. However, it wouldn't be a future hero prediction video without just a sip of wild speculation thrown in. So this next bit isn't necessarily likely in my opinion, but could possibly end up happening. Remember the pro and anti-Omnic graffiti and posters I glazed over earlier? It's possible that they could just be here to indicate that these posters are supposed to be located in King's Row, even though the actual map location of this is in Rialto. But let's assume they're actually relevant to Hero 28 themselves. As I said, Wrecking Ball, when seen up close, looks a lot like an Omnic, and even exhibits the transforming capabilities that certain Omnics are known to have. So what if Wrecking Ball is an Omnic? Just one with a primate pilot. Hear me out. Hammond likely isn't as intelligent as Winston, who from what we understand was essentially a prodigy amongst the Horizon apes. While Hammond is clearly clever, this doesn't mean he's clever enough to do all this stuff on his own. Heck, for all we know, he might not even be able to talk. Thus, perhaps he employed the help of an Omnic in order to execute his escape. Given that most of the anti-Omnic graffiti in this image is covering the Horizon posters, it's possible that this indicates that many Omnics are being used on the lunar colony. Zenyatta even somewhat reaffirms this in one of his Horizon-specific voice lines.
An Omnic on the moon is not so special. There are more robots than humans in space.
Maybe this Omnic is something similar to the Athena AI which we see helping Winston, and helped Hammond on his journey from Moon to Earth. But after they crash-landed in the Australian outback, perhaps Hammond learned just in time what would happen to them if the Junkers found out he had an Omnic companion, and thus redesigned it into a mech suit. This could possibly explain why Hammond chose to become a fighter instead of trying to just blend in as best he could, and might also explain how they became the champion. After all, two brains are better than one, especially when one's a computer. Hammond's presence inside Wrecking Ball would divert suspicion from any of the anti-Omnic Junkers, and together they could become the game's first truly compound hero, in that there are canonically two minds operating it. Perhaps the Omnic would even serve as Hammond's voice, in the likely scenario where he himself is unable to speak. Again, this is just some fun speculation I was having, and I definitely wouldn't go so far as to say that I even consider it to be likely. I think it's possible and a fun theory to consider, but we'll just have to wait and see if it holds any water once Hero 28 is finally officially revealed. So then, if it turns out that at least the non-speculative parts of my prediction are in fact what we can expect for Hero 28, what's next? Well, to be honest, most likely their release. Unless Blizzard has some massive out-of-nowhere twist to pull, the only things left to learn are minor aesthetic details for the character, along with their role and abilities. They'll most likely be a tank based on both his design and what the game needs right now. Clearly, one of his abilities is to roll around as a ball, but beyond that, who knows? It seems that he'll most likely be an off-tank, unless he's got some kind of barrier we haven't seen yet, but even then, how exactly will he achieve this? There are many questions still, but based on how much it seems we're already capable of piecing together, I expect we won't learn much more before he actually hits the PTR, and that should be very soon. At most, I think we might get one more teaser, likely showing off something regarding their abilities, before their reveal on either Wednesday or Thursday. I really don't think we're gonna have to wait until next week for the reveal, as it seems like things have already mostly been figured out. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of the future Hero 28 teasers, updates, or reveal itself. And in the meantime, let me know your thoughts about all this down in the comments below. Do you think Hammond is Wrecking Ball's pilot? Do you think it's even possible that Wrecking Ball is Hammond's Omnic companion, and together they'll make up the new hero? Regardless, thanks for watching, and don't forget to vote in today's poll card. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and turn on notifications to both help out my channel and keep up with all my future Overwatch content. This is Master Ian Gamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.